Do you have a New Year's resolution?
Yes.
Well, twofold. Do you believe in New Year's resolution? Do you participate in New Year's resolution?
I make them every year, and then I just don't do anything else.
I do. And I had a streak of about 3 years where I rocked it.
That's fair. I have done well in the past, especially like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. For like the same thing, like a span of 3 years, I said I would read a ton of books. And 1 year I read 1 book a week. So I read 52 new books in a year, which was amazing.
My famous one was I made a point to draw every day. And while at the end of the year, I did not have 365 drawings, I had like 182.
Do that again.
Which was like more than I've ever in my life. So anyways, do you have a resolution for this year?
I do. The biggest one I have is, I think I talked about it on a previous episode. I don't know when things are coming out that we've already recorded, but I made a list on Letterboxd of movies that I should have seen by now. And it's 156 movies. It's unlikely I'm going to get through the whole thing this year, but my goal is to start doing like maybe 1 a week and try to get through a bunch of movies that I should have seen already. You know, but I'm starting with the 1970s because there's so many in the 1970s, and I don't like the 1970s.
Easy Rider is not going to watch itself.
I've seen Easy Rider. We saw it at the Enzian. Never again. I didn't care for it. But Jack Nicholson in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, that was a thumbs up.
Really?
Yeah.
Sure. Not so much in The Witches of Eastwick, but...
Well, that was like 1980.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So the last couple of years, my flaw, I think, was going too ambitious.
That's always the flaw.
I gave myself like 6 things.
That would be like if I was like, I'm going to finish that list this year. I'd be like, the last 2 weeks of the year, I'm just like nonstop 6 movies a day.
So this year I have a controversial one. It's seeping in white privilege, but that's weird. I should have said, but I should have done that after I said it. But my point is that I think I think this one resolution will trickle down. I'm saying a lot of words. Yeah, you're really. I think it will benefit some of the other points.
Really
I'm going to stop paying attention to the news.
Oh, okay. That's good. Good.
And social media. Because the last 5 years, we've been talking about 4, but let's be honest, this shit started in 2015.
100%.
In a desperate grasp to feel in control, I felt like I needed to understand. So I've been riddling current events like a puzzle that could be solved.
Nope.
And I am going to die.
Yeah,
if I keep up. So,
I'll tell you what, I stopped watching the news regularly the moment I moved out of my parents' house, and it has been incredible.
Well, you also, these past couple of years, couldn't even watch the satirical stuff, which I love.
They just always play clips of his face and his voice, and I can't do it. I cannot do it.
So my point in bringing up is I understand that's very privileged, but I do want to say that I have done a lot of work. I'm going to continue to do work. I have people that I trust who can keep me informed and educated, but I cannot wake up and check the trending topics on Twitter first thing every morning.
You can stay up to date with what's going on and informed without steeping yourself in it all day, every day. And I'm not.
I have too much to do, and we have too much to do. And that's all I'm going to say for now, but I have huge plans for this year. So I still really have a job, so in a place of eating and breathing and living my work. So let's see how that goes.
Also, I mean, the requisite one every year. I'm going to try to lose some weight.
Yeah, I gained 30 pounds this year, just in time for us to start doing video. We hit quarantine and I gained 35 pounds.
We hit quarantine hard, is what we're saying.
So I was good and camera ready.
So that's just like join us on this journey.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe we can do that thing next year where we'll like show a picture from that could backfire. That could backfire because we could gain 30 pounds. Yeah, we could gain in quarantine 3.
That Michael Bay movie's coming true. There's a new strain.
I was imagining KJ Apa in the shower.
Ah, yes, that's fair. He's got a beard in it, too.
Yeah, we'll get to that on my year-end list.
The trailer for Songbird?
No.
Oh,
his TikTok.
Do you have, moments? I don't have,
wanted to but I've wanted to do that every year.
I did movies and TV, and that's it. And I know you have music.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Is that how I do it? I threw myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Is this like the time that you said greetings or something one time? And you like...
No, I said, welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back or something, because I went into Ryan Seacrest mode.
You did, yeah. No, hello, everybody. Yeah, that's right.
Hello, everybody. I am Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your twice weekly pop culture podcast where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. There's no spoilers, so... There's probably going to be hella spoilers, to be honest.
I think we're going to get into lots of TV and movie spoilers.
This is our 2020 year-end list, so we're talking about everything that we loved this year. I think for both of us, it's safe to say, we've said this many times, first of all, we are not critics. We are just reactioneers.
We are often critical.
Sure, but we're talking about what we like.
Yes, yeah.
And
apologies up front, Mank is not on my list.
In a general sense, there's a hierarchy to my list in the sense that what is at number 1 I liked better than what's at number 10.
Yeah.
But what's at number 4 isn't necessarily better than what's at number 5.
Yeah. Mine is generally the same.
Yeah.
It's also kind of nebulous, and this was such a bonkers year, but there managed to be actually enough good stuff.
I did the thing where I started this early. And then I was like, I'm good. Like when I get a head start on something, I cross it off my list. Yeah. And so you were ready to film this like 4 days ago. And I was like, oh.
Well,
and it's really hard to listen to 9 albums critically.
That's true. I have I didn't do music this year. So we're going to talk about
You'll be familiar with some of the stuff I'll talk about.
But I did the thing where you were like, let's try to do the year end like early. And then we got struck with the COVID in the family, which we've talked about. Will's brother, Andrew, tested positive. And so then we were
he's fine. He's better.
Oh, yeah, he's totally fine. So then we were like, oh, shit, well, we have to postpone it. So we were like, well, we'll do it after the new year this year, just like we always have. And so I used the extra time to plow through like 15 movies.
You watched like 12 movies.
I did. I watched 5 movies in one day.
I think ours are going to be different.
Movies?
Yeah.
I think we're going to have some same ones, but I have things on here that I know you didn't watch.
My TV list is all I actually have passion about.
Oh, really? I have
the movies and music, I'm like...
I have a little more passion about the movies this year, but I like could not focus on long form entertainment until like...
Unless it was like true crime.
Well...
For me, it gave me some kind of like carnal satisfaction.
So I'll tell you, I know every single line of dialogue to every episode of Bob's Burgers, and that's what I did for like the first 4 months of quarantine. Do you want to do movies first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel more passionately about TV, so.
I do not.
Oh, well, then do you want to do TV?
No, because you feel less passionately about movies. So it doesn't really, one of us is going to be really excited now, and one of us is going to be really excited at the end. All right, so we both have 10 movies and a couple alternates. I have 2, Will has 3. We're going to start with the alternate, move along up the list from there, back and forth, starting from. And again, like we said, they're not like officially ranked. It's just like the things we enjoyed, I guess. Not enjoyed the least. I enjoyed all my things, regardless. I did a really last minute shuffle because I realized something came out this year that I thought came out last year. So apologies to the 2 hugest releases of the year, but Wonder Woman and Soul both moved to my alternates. So those are my 2 like honorable mentions. I liked them. They were fine. They didn't make the cut. They're not up to stuff.
They're not even on mine.
They're not even on your list at all? Amazing.
Kind of. Again, that's not me saying that either of them were bad. They just were. I mean,
yeah, they just happened and it's fine.
So my alternates, one is a technicality. It's Portrait of a Lady on Fire. And it's because it came. So I guess in that regard, I have 4 because the 4th would be Little Women.
Okay. Yeah. Same for me.
They technically came out last year, but I loved them and saw them this year. And then I went ahead and put Happiest Season on there, just as kind of a milestone. And one that I would like to watch with you, but the priority is so low. It's a documentary called Skin.
Oh.
And it's about the history of nudity on film. It goes way back to silent.
Yeah,
it's like a solid 2 hours of just like various.
Cool. So. Yeah, I'll definitely watch that. In that case, my number 10 is a Netflix documentary. It is called My Octopus Teacher. Oh my God. Okay. I will also call out Lily Reinhart specifically because she was watching this at the gym in Vancouver and she was like, not me, sobbing watching My Octopus Teacher. And then she posted like a little boomerang of her just like walking on the treadmill, tears running down her, like Betty Cooper tears running down her face. So I was like, okay, well, I need to watch it. So I was making my list of movies that I needed to see before we could do the year-end list. And I put it on there, and then I finally watched it. Oh my God, it is.
It seemed like it would be sad. That's why I didn't watch it.
Well, it is, but it's also not. It's like, I'll do a general spoiler, which is that in the wild, this species of octopus only lives about 3 years. Do with that what you will. But it basically is just about this man who was like burned out at his job. And he just took to diving off the coast of South Africa where he lives. And he was just free diving in this kelp forest. And he came across.
I'm out.
Why? Free diving?
It's going to be 2. And he makes friends with an octopus.
So he sees.
That teaches him how to love. I'm out.
No, it's not. He doesn't teach him how to love.
I don't.
It like he catches it doing this weird thing with shells that he's never seen an octopus do before. And then he just starts going down and seeing her every day. It's so good if you and it's also just beautiful underwater shots and like aerial shots of this kelp forest. It's so cool. So cool. So that's my number 10.
My number 10, a little arbitrary, but I put The Hunt.
Oh God. Yeah. That didn't make my list.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny. Less so on plot, more so on performances. I mean, Betty Gilpin, Face from This Is Us, Emma Roberts, Hilary Swank.
Face from This. I was like, is this another musician I've never heard of?
Hilary Swank.
Justin Hartley
gives a stellar performance.
She does. Her and Betty Gilpin are really like, yeah.
All in all, I not as good as Ready or Not. It's kind of a knockoff of that. Not intentional, but
no, but it was like
came second.
They were supposed to come out at the same time too, and it got delayed. Okay. Then my number 9 is a movie that technically premiered in festivals last year, but this is the one that blew my list sort of like wide open. It didn't premiere on streaming until March 2020. So it is called Blow the Man Down, and it was so fucking good. It's these 2 girls. I wish I had written their names down. I did a really bad job. It's like 2 lady filmmakers, Bridget Savage Cole and Danielle Crudy. It is like, it's like all the best parts of your favorite Coen Brothers movie, but wrapped in this femaleness that's like so fun. There's also every time like there's an act break, this man is just singing a sea shanty.
Give me some time to blow the man down, where boys become greenhorns and greens become mates. To their way.
It's like very cool, very interesting. There's a lot of fun people in it. I liked it all around. I thought it was really good. It's sort of like a crime thing, but like not entirely. It's very fun. I recommend it to her. It's streaming. I think you can rent it on Amazon.
Cool. My number 9, I had Birds of Prey.
Oh, that made way higher on my list.
I mean, it was fine. I liked it.
I also have been like meaning to rewatch it.
I can't wait for my Harley Quinn doll.
Yeah.
They really, Hot Toys did the confetti.
The jacket.
And she comes with the sandwich and a martini. Nice. And like.
Yeah, that is perfect. That actually I put that at number 5.
Okay.
I liked it quite a lot. I've been meaning to rewatch it again, and I haven't actually made it around to it, but I liked it a real lot when it came out too. Mm-hmm. So my number 8 is Eurovision. I just rewatched it again today too.
Did you?
I was like, you know what? I keep scrolling past it every time I'm looking for something on Netflix, and I rewatch it. I was sobbing.
Do you agree with me that it's better the more you watch it?
Yeah.
My brother, he went through a really, really, really bad breakup at Christmas. So going into 2020. Mm-hmm. And it was the first thing that he got this year that wasn't seeped in memories.
Yes.
And so we watched this thing probably 20 times this summer. And the first time I watched it, I was like, it was really dumb. I was like, I don't know. I kind of liked parts of it. By like the fifth time I watched it, I was like, this is the height of comedy.
It is so funny. It is like really skating the line of like which Will Ferrell I like. And it's like, he's like really doing a tap
dance.
And
I do agree. I think it could and should have been funnier. I think a lot of the material could have been punched up.
Sure.
But it has such a vibrant heart.
It really does. And I just like, I'm not joking. When Iceland makes the finals, I was like, it's just so nice.
Oh, the music's just actually good.
It's really good. Really good.
Where the whales can live because they are gentle people.
No, 100%. I was just like, I was grinning the whole time I was watching it today. It was just very funny. So that's my number 8.
I went ahead and put Freaky as my number 8, even though I did have a lot of issues with it. I think it ultimately was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the kind of thing that I would watch again a lot.
Yeah.
And also I would watch more.
Okay.
There's been a lot of movies where I'm like, I didn't love this, but I was intrigued enough by the premise that if it kept going,
sure, yeah,
I could totally.
I know we mentioned it in our episode, but I really wanted to put a button on it that I think it, because I did compare them also, but I think Vince Vaughn really did that same thing that Jack Black did in the first Jumanji movie, where it's like, he's not making fun of the girl.
No,
it's a very nuanced performance of him as the girl. And I really appreciated that because lots of body swapping movies where the genders are swapped are dicey. And I really enjoyed that specifically, that he wasn't like making fun of like being a dumb high school girl. It was a very like present.
He wasn't bleeding all over the place.
Exactly. It was just a very like, it was like he became her. And I liked that a lot. So, okay. So my 7, we just watched it recently and I heard that it was very good and I wanted to watch it. And we are all obviously huge fans of Dylan O'Brien.
Oh,
we watched.
I wanted to watch it. If I was with you, I would have watched it.
We watched Love and Monsters and it really blew me away.
I heard nothing but good things about it.
So funny, so cute. It ended up having so much heart. The monsters actually look pretty amazing. Like they were pretty well done. It was like really neat. It's sort of an epic quest journey movie. And Dylan O'Brien should be a movie star by now. He should be like a big movie star. Like he should be in the MCU or something.
He's on his, yeah.
He needs to get that thing because he is so charming.
All of those Teen Wolf kids are bubbling under in a way that, well, Holland's like living in a van in the woods now. So I think she's.
Hey, if she's happy.
She is.
If she's happy, that's all. I would love to watch her keep acting, but Dylan O'Brien was always my Teen Wolf guy, and I like really want him.
Well, Hecklin's getting Lois and Clark.
That's true. So. That's true. I just really think he is super fun. There's a couple other people in it. It's good. It's really cute. That one's also on Amazon, I think, for rent. I recommend it.
So for me, especially these next couple are, I mean, it's just spin a wheel, throw a dart. At 7, though, I did go ahead and put Holiday.
Oh, that was good. I tried to be a little bit, I guess, a little more prestige.
You always do.
But I did genuinely love all these movies. So.
It was just.
But it was so cute. It was really cute.
So silly and. Like I said, it was very stupid and I loved it. And I want more. I want Emily agrees with me. I want the Netflix romantic universe.
Cinematic universe. 100%. I definitely agree with that for sure.
Like I said, Kristen Chenoweth can be the anchor.
Yeah, for sure.
Happy Easter, my little bunnies.
Not this holiday crap like your aunt.
She seems like she's having fun.
She's gonna die alone in a wheelchair and a diaper.
My number 6 was a movie that I watched with Barbie Ferreira and Haley Lou Richardson. I had heard a lot of good things about it. I think it did festivals at the beginning of the year too. It's called Unpregnant. And the basic premise is Haley Lou Richardson finds herself pregnant in Missouri, I think, and she and Barbie Ferreira have had a falling out, as most high school friends that were friends in middle school do. And basically she's like, well, I can't do this, so where can I procure the nearest abortion? And it turns out it's in New Mexico. So she has to like drive to New Mexico, and Barbie Ferreira is the only one that she knows that has a car that won't tell anybody. And so they basically go on this road trip, and it like rediscovers their friendship and everything. But it is so cute, and there's so much heart to it in a way that like there was like a crop of abortion movies that came out this year, and it's a little weird, but this is so different from Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, which was also excellent, but it didn't make my list because it is dreary. This is a lot funnier. It's like a rollicking road trip, and it's like very, very, very good. Their chemistry is really good. I think Barbie Ferreira is another one that is like on the up and up. She was on Euphoria. Very good. I recommend it. And it was, I think, on HBO Max. Yeah.
My number 6 was actually Gretel and Hansel.
Oh.
I've seen it again. It is, there's not a lot of meat on the bones. And that's the most unfortunate, because I think there could have been.
Yeah.
I think they could have leaned in, even because it was punished for the feminist aspect. So it could have at least deserved.
It could have at least gone in the deep end of that.
Yeah. Committed the crime if they're going to be. Yeah. But it was incredibly stylish, and it was really, it was just cool. It was just weird. It was just interesting. I love fantasy horror. I liked it.
I love Sophia Lillis.
I want to see more from him.
From the director?
Yeah, I cannot remember his name. It's the one from, he's Norman.
Oz.
Yeah.
Oz Perkins.
Oz Perkins.
Okay. I do love Sophia Lillis too, and I can't remember if
and Alice Krieg.
Alice Krieg. Yeah.
Alice Krieg stands where you at.
I can't remember if the little Netflix show she was in came out this year or last year. This year. It's called I Am Not Okay With This, and it got hella canceled, and it ended on a hella cliffhanger, but she's amazing. And I also watched an Amazon movie with her and Paul Bettany called Uncle Frank, which was also very good. It didn't make my list, but it was cute. It's a little overwrought, but it was cute. I liked it a lot. So my number 5 is Birds of Prey, which we already talked about a little bit. So
my number 5 was Invisible Man.
That made it higher on my list.
Oh, well.
That's my number 2.
Oh.
I loved Invisible Man, and the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. It was such good commentary. I retweeted somebody yesterday.
It also was because my friend Jen that we talk about, like one of my best friends, she doesn't like horror or suspense, but she liked this because it was just a really good balance.
It's really good. I retweeted something yesterday, and it was like, I'm here for the good for her cinematic universe. And it was her, and it was Amy Dunn, and it was like a couple other people.
Midsommar.
And I was like, yeah, 100%. I loved it so much. I mean, at this point, it's so redundant to say that Elizabeth Moss is good at acting, but she is so good at acting. And Aldous Hodge is apparently having a year. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's getting a lot of heat. He's in Regina King's directorial debut, One Night in Miami, and he is, for your consideration, best supporting actor.
Yeah, he was great in this.
He's amazing. I have loved him since episode 1 of Leverage, which is a really fun show if you're just looking for something silly. Yeah, I just am like, all around, I'm into this. And I won't spoil anything about it, but the scene in the restaurant is, I think, the loudest I've ever gasped in a movie theater. Insane. It was, it's my number 2. So my number 4 is something Will and I watched, my husband Will and I just watched last week because we'd heard a lot of good things about it. It is called Wolfwalkers. I love Pixar. I need them to stop winning Oscars now. We're done with Pixar Oscars. If this movie doesn't win the Best Animated Movie Award, I am going to kill someone. It is so beautiful. The story is so interesting. It's the way that they animate the scale of everything is really fascinating. I fell in love with it. It was so good. It's on Apple Plus, Apple TV, whatever it's called. I
wasn't like lured in by the animation style, but I've seen so much about it that I'll give it a go.
So it's a studio called Cartoon Saloon. And it's sort of like it feels akin to Studio Ghibli, like where it's like kind of sort of like,
don't love.
No, I know you don't love it, but it's also Irish, so it's like an Irish folktale almost is what this is, because they also did The Secret of Kells and Song of the Sea is all the same studio. It was just so unexpected, and it was so sort of refreshing as an animation style, because it's like we've gotten to a point where everything is like so glossy and like 3D animated, and you know, it's just like Rapunzel's eyeballs are as big as her waist and stuff, and it's like I love all those movies, they're great, but I love seeing something different like this, and it was just the coolest. I recommend it so hard across the board. It was my husband's favorite movie he saw this year.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was my number 4. Yeah, 4.
My 4 and 3 are a toss.
Yeah, from like 5 and up are like basically interchangeable.
Yeah, I basically have both personal history of David Copperfield.
Oh yeah, I did like that.
Emma.
Okay.
I liked both of them. I've seen them both 4 times, 3 times now.
Nice.
I bought David Copperfield.
Yeah.
I think it gets better. I love it.
We can talk more about Emma in a minute.
Good or bad?
No, good. It's my number 1.
Oh,
I don't want to be done talking about it right
okay.
now. My number 3 was Palm Springs.
Okay.
Is that your number 1?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
How'd you know?
Because you didn't say anything else, just like I didn't about Emma. Well, so my number 2 was Invisible Man, so we can talk about Palm Springs and we can talk about Emma.
My number 2 is Eurovision.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we already talked about that all the time. No, I loved Palm Springs. That was like mid-summertime, right? Yeah.
August, I think,
was it all the way in August? It was just, I mean, in the doldrums of summer and also this quarantine and pandemic.
It was funny.
Such a nice
it was
thing.
clever.
It was cute. It was a little sexy. It's just like, I really
They struck
loved
such a good balance between like lowbrow and, I mean, nothing about it is particularly highbrow, but it like wasn't.
But it does, I think it does elevate the like Groundhog Day style of movie. It's a little bit. It
felt kind of, not quite prestige, but it felt like I would believe it could have made the award circuits and stuff.
100%. I loved it a lot. It just made me feel happy, and it made me feel good, and it just was really cute. It was way up there. And it was another one that I like just sort of didn't stop thinking about after I watched it. It was like, I just kept thinking about like the different scenes and different things that happened and being like, that's fucking hilarious. So yeah, I loved it. So then my 2 was Invisible Man and your 2 is Eurovision. Mm-hmm. And we've already done that a little bit. So then, and your number 1 was Palm Springs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So my number 1 was Emma.
I'm surprised it was your number 1. I didn't realize you liked it that much.
I loved every minute of it. It was such a sister film for me to Little Women, where I just felt.
I put David Copperfield in there.
Okay, yeah. I love both of the books. I love Little Women and I love Emma. I love both adaptations of the books that I've seen, because I know there's many more than 2. But
it was just such a good portrayal of Emma.
Such a good portrayal of Emma. She gets into the like iciness.
I was going to say they made her like a little bit snottier than both Gwyneth Paltrow and
in a way
Alicia Silverstone.
Exactly. In a way that Gwyneth, it doesn't really get there. And Alicia Silverstone only kind of gets there because she's a Valley girl, where it's like the narcissism is what it is. And I loved the whole look of it. I loved all of the set direction and art design and the costumes.
It was very stylized. And what's her man?
Mr. Knightley. Yeah.
When we first saw him, we were like, I mean, he's okay. Because and then by the end, For
me, except for Colonel Brandon in Sense and Sensibility, as played by Alan Rickman, I need my Austen hero to be like a dark brooding man, like a dark haired man. And I was just like, blonde Mr. Knightley, come off it. And then it just is like, no, it works so good. Johnny Flynn is amazing. Anya Taylor-Joy was like across the board. I also really preferred this portrayal of Mr. Woodhouse by Bill Nighy. It was like a lot more satisfying than the one in the Gwyneth Paltrow version. I loved everything about it. I think I've watched it 3 times now. It just makes me happy. I love it. And I just like the Regency of it all is just very
well, and it's
so comforting.
Who's the woman that she insults?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God,
Miranda,
I don't remember her name. It is Miranda something, though.
Hart, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
She was so good.
As Miss Bates.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I loved it.
It's so good.
It was my number 3.
Yeah,
so.
and that's the thing is like, it's such a weird year, and it's just, but we still had a lot of variety between the two of us. In previous
I'm
years,
a little bit proud of.
I am too. In previous years, we've had all the same shit.
But it's like it's our brand in a nutshell because my stuff was a lot lighter and
overall there were more movies that I loved this year than I thought there would be, and I like mostly enjoyed everything I watched, just some more than others.
Mm-hmm. Well, then for TV, do you want to just kind of blow through it since we're running long, or?
I mean, it depends on what we have. I have a couple, not necessarily, I guess just the one, because we already talked about the Sophia Lillis show, but it didn't make my list, but only because my list is very nebulous. But Mindy Kaling produced a show this year called Never Have I Ever about a young Indian girl who her father has passed away, and then for like a year she was just like paralyzed from the waist down, sort of psychosomatically. They couldn't figure out why, and then she just was like fine again, and she's like in early high school, I think, and it's just like a really cool, interesting sort of journey into her life and like her dealing with the fallout of all of these things. And it's weirdly but perfectly narrated by John McEnroe. It's very, very funny. And then I guess I do have one more. I didn't finish it though, but it was called Everything's Gonna Be Okay. Mm-hmm. And it was a freeform show, I think. And I think it got a season 2, but I don't know where that stands and all the COVID stuff. That one was also very good. Very funny, a little bit of heart. I really liked it. So those are my 2 just like additional things.
I had 3 additional things on mine. The first was Love, Victor.
I took that off my list actually after I watched a couple more things.
It was okay. I enjoyed it. The second one is a little bit of a technicality. It was Mandalorian. I watched season 1.
Sure.
I didn't like season 2 as much. However, I think that's because I watched it weekly. Yeah. I think if I could have binged it, I would have enjoyed it more.
We also didn't mention because we had to quarantine from each other when the finale happened. I thought it was a pretty good finale for season 2. So I'm interested to see what's going to come next. From the like 98 TV shows they announced.
Spoiler. We won't say what the thing is, but I will ask you, at what point did you figure out what the thing was at the end?
Oh, by the time I woke up at 7:00 that morning and it was already trending on Twitter.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Literally when the X-Wing showed up, I went,
yeah. No, it was like 7 a.m. and I saw like 4 things trending. I knew who directed it. I knew who people wanted to be cast as that character. I knew that character was in it. And I was just like,
strongly agree with the casting.
Same.
I think we need to, I mean, at this point, we're still not going to say it, but people might crack our code.
All blank and no blank.
All blank and no blank makes blank a blank blank.
I think we need to give up our hard-ons for like photo, like deep state, like all that.
Well, that's the thing though, is I saw somebody say, I think it was that Jesse McLaren kid who's like sort of Twitter famous. And he was like, I don't understand why they couldn't manage this. Like when all of the people on, TikTok or Instagram are doing deep fakes of like everybody, and this looks like absolute garbage.
Well, so many people were so butthurt about Dr. Sleep because it wasn't Shelley Duvall.
It was so much better.
I recast. It's just, it is a leap of faith that you have to take when you're telling stories that span decades.
Do you think a man with an axe leaning his head through an axed doorway, I'm not going to just assume that's supposed to be Jack Nicholson? I don't know what to tell you.
I think we need to, the Leia at the end of Rogue One, the girl that they hired looked enough like her. Yeah. They didn't need to plaster it. We would have gotten it. She had 2 buns.
Yeah, I get it. I'm there. I'm so there.
I'm very passionate about that. But
all right, so those were your 3?
Well, my last one was Drag Race because it's always a good time.
Yeah, Drag Race is always a good time. That's fair. My number 10 was The Umbrella Academy.
I didn't put Umbrella Academy on my list.
Did you forget?
I literally, yeah.
I had to look at a couple other people's top 10 lists to get my own.
That would have been on my list, and it would have been in the top 5.
Yeah, I actually I liked it quite a lot this year.
Kate Walsh.
Kay Walsh is
She was great in the first season, but this season
always good. I mean, honestly,
no, this season was better than the first. I can't believe I forgot it.
Everybody had a little bit more to do because we were not still establishing, and I really appreciated that we had already established and we were able to dig deeper into these characters.
It also felt like that thing where a lot of times an adaptation parts from ways from its source.
Yeah.
And so it felt like this is the TV show where the comic is its own.
Sure. Yeah. I overall really, really dug it. And I just F you to all the haters out there. I can't wait to see what happens with Vanya.
Well, I think Vanya is staying female.
No, yeah, 100%.
So, yeah.
I'm just so into it. I just don't even, I'm like, do whatever. You could go any direction. It's so cool. I'm just
You'll figure it out. You'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Just
cope.
Just let it wash over you.
My number 10 was The Circle. It was trash, but it was hot trash. I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
Fun. I never finished it, but it was fun. I really did like it a lot. I was pretty into Joey for a minute.
Everybody was.
Yeah, he was so good. I liked him a lot. Okay, my number 9 was The Boys.
Okay.
Did you forget that too?
No.
Or is it your number 1?
It's my number 1.
Then we'll talk about it when we get to number 1.
My number 9. This is slightly arbitrary. It had a new season this year, but I discovered and binge watched Big Mouth, and I've kind of loved it. So
I kind of love it too.
You didn't think you would.
I didn't think I wouldn't. You didn't think I would either because it's kind of
I knew
more
you
crude
would, but I didn't know. I didn't know what the over under was.
Sure. Okay.
So,
but I love it. I think it's very cute. I think
you can tell that it has both a diverse writers' room and the consulting producers.
Yeah.
The accuracy and the care it gives to its female, it's queer, it's
I mean, even like from
racial,
a mental health place. Yeah.
It is, considering how crude and vulgar it is.
Which is like a Nick Kroll staple.
Yeah. It is shockingly well crafted.
Yeah.
And
it has a lot of heart. It has more heart than it should, to be honest.
I am obsessed
yeah.
with Lola Ugfuglio Scumpy.
Yeah.
She is one of my favorite fictional character at the moment.
I am pretty basic. I like Jessie. Like Jessie and Connie, the hormone monstrous, are they are like top of my list.
Just put a clip of Maya Rudolph saying bubble bath.
Bubble bath.
Bubble bath.
My number 8 is, I just finished it the other day, The Flight Attendant. I top to bottom loved it. We are both not into The Big Bang Theory for the most part, and so I
watched 5 seasons of it.
I did not. I was really, really, really enjoying seeing Kaylee Cuoco do something different. She's like a friggin' disaster in this show.
She's a good comedic actress. You can tell she really studied Jennifer Aniston.
But she's really good at the drama in this, because it's like a murder mystery.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. She basically, spoilers for the first episode, I won't go further. She is a flight attendant, and she is like, oh my God. She is on this trip, and I think it's Thailand, and she goes out with a guy who was on her flight, and they like hook up and everything, and she wakes up the next morning next to his dead body.
Okay.
And so it's basically trying to figure out how and why. Also, Zasha Mehmet from Girls, she played Shoshana. Also fun watching her do something different, because she's like a hardball mob wife lawyer. Like a lawyer for mob wives. She's not a mob wife. And Michelle Gomez is in this show, and we talk a lot about her because we love Sabrina. I don't necessarily think that I can say she's better in The Flight Attendant, but it is a little bit different, and she is so hot, and it's insane. And then Rosie Perez is also in it. It's a really good group of girls.
Michelle Gomez is like total top.
Oh
like,
my
just
God.
Total BDE. My number 8 was The Good Place. I tend to rank higher new shows, and since we've already done entire episodes we've already done entire episodes on The Good Place, so I feel like I've already given it it's but it has probably a top 5 series finale.
I agree. It's my number 2.
It's a near perfect.
Yeah. I recently did a rewatch because I hadn't rewatched season 4 again, and I wanted to. And there is something about the finale that just is so perfect. It's so satisfying. And I do want to call out all of the scenes with Eleanor and Chidi, because they sort of, as much as we all, Darcy Carden is obviously amazing. Everybody's amazing. Ted Danson is amazing. I love it all. But like Eleanor and Chidi are the heart of the show. And the scenes with them and the way that Chidi talks about the Buddhist, like feelings of death and like talking about the wave and everything. It's just stunningly beautiful.
He just has such a confidence and such a calm and a charm that we can feel his arc. The completion of his arc.
100%.
Picture a wave in the ocean. You can see it, measure it, its height, the way the sunlight refracts when it passes through, and it's there, and you can see it, you know what it is, it's a wave. And then it crashes on the shore, and it's gone. But the water is still there. The wave was just a different wave of the water to be for a little while. And that's one conception of death for a Buddhist. The wave returns to the ocean, where it came from. And where it's supposed to be.
Not bad, Buddhists.
Not bad.
This beautiful song is playing, the classical piece is playing behind, and it's just...
And like I said, because they just played that clip on Pop Culture Happy Hour, and she doesn't speak, Kristen doesn't speak in that, but you can hear her breath. And the way it really does add to it's
so stunning. It's, like I said, it's my number 2 of the year, just because of the way that it only aired like 3 or 4 episodes this year, because season 4 started in 2019, but it was so just lovely. And I feel like, especially if you're having any issues with a death or something, which I'm sure a lot of people are this year, I think it's sort of a lovely way to just sort of imagine that everything's okay on the other end of it. I just really liked it. It makes me feel really emotional talking about it, but I liked it a real lot. It was, and like you said, probably top 5 series finales of all time.
And one is up for grabs in that in that scenario.
And it's just very satisfying. So yeah, I agree. So what was that, number 7 for you?
8. So what's your 7?
8. My 7 is Bridgerton.
Oh, I haven't.
I fucking loved it. I watched all of it on Christmas Day and the day after Christmas. I am obsessed. It's so good.
We hadn't actually talked about it.
No.
All I knew is that you liked it. I didn't know you liked it that much.
So good. It's so sexy. It's more Regency type of stuff. It's like also very cool because Shonda Rhimes produced it. And so it's a very diverse cast. And I thought they were just like, this is an alternate reality, like an alternate history where like it was diverse, but they actually, and it is that, but they actually mention it in one of the episodes. Like the king fell in love with a black woman. And so that like allowed all of these other people of color to be elevated.
Is what you mean.
It's not like a huge plot. One person mentions it one time, but it is mentioned as a thing.
But it's acknowledged within the world.
Yeah.
Where like Mary Queen of Scots,
didn't acknowledge it. Yeah. But so I quite enjoyed that it was actually mentioned in it. And so it basically is, I'm sure lots of people have seen, but it basically is Regency era Gossip Girl, where there's this lady who puts out a gossip paper. Yeah. And it's called Lady Whistledown. And she is like spilling all the tea on all of these like royal people, like all these like noble people. It was really good. I have to call out, just because she's one of the only ones that I knew beforehand, I have to call out Nicola Coughlan, who plays Polly Walker, one of Polly Walker's daughters. So good. Such good comedic timing. Everybody's really good. Lots of hot guys. There's so much boning, especially once you get to like episode 4. None of the hot guys bone each other. None of the hot guys bone each other yet. I think 2 of the hot guys might bone each other in the future, but I can't
that we may never get because it's Netflix.
We'll see. There are evidently 8 books, but I liked it sort of top to bottom. I think it's funny. I think it's sexy. I think it's beautifully done. I dug it a lot.
My number 7 is Amazon Prime's Upload. I was really caught off guard by that show.
And I've watched like half of it.
Yeah.
Now.
And I Loved it. It was easy. It was good. It has not gotten a lot of love. It, in theory, has a second season. In this day and age, that means nothing. So
Amazon's better. Amazon gave 4 seasons to Mozart in the Jungle.
yeah, well, Netflix gave how many seasons to House of Cards? I mean,
That's true, like 7.
yeah,
Too many.
those are the old days.
Yeah. My number 6 is Dead to Me. Yeah, because I think we watched both seasons this year.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, but season 2 was, I think it did like a nice secular thing. I really liked it.
It built on season 1.
Yeah,
in the best ways.
Definitely.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That is probably, it's darker than this, but it's up there with like the first 5 seasons of Parks and Rec for me, with like a depiction of female friendship.
Sure. Yeah. 100%.
And
I loved it. I mean, also, you can't go wrong with Linda Cardellini and Christina Applegate. It's so good. The two of them together.
I am a Christina Applegate stan.
You are. We should do Samantha Who at some point.
Both seasons.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I loved it. It's my number 3.
Oh, okay.
Dead to Me. My number 6, I have not finished it, but I have confidence in placing it here. I'm halfway through Lovecraft Country.
Ah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
I thought about binging it yesterday because I haven't watched it yet.
It's a lot.
But I didn't want to blow my TV list wide open at the last minute too.
It's my fantasy horror again. Yeah. It's kind of anthology-esque. Because there is a point in the second episode where I'm like, this is the finale to this season. Why are we watching it now in episode 2? And then I was like, episode 3 is about a haunted house. Like, it just kind of each thing. But it's really, really, really awesome. Jessie Smollett is...
Oh, I love her. Yeah. The girl?
Yeah. Jessie?
Journey.
Yeah. I was like, that didn't sound right.
One of them is Jussie, and I don't know if
Journey.
I don't know if all of the Smollets are related, but there's a bunch of them in Hollywood.
Well, anyway, she's phenomenal.
Yeah. No, she's fabulous because she was in Birds of Prey.
And Abby Lee Kershaw, I think her name is. She is the Dag from Mad Max. She plays a white woman.
Oh, okay. In the 50s.
TM. She's so good in the show. She's so good. She's horrible.
Yeah, I believe it.
But she does the thing where she makes you think that she's on you. It's so good.
I get it.
It's so good. So,
my number 5 is Bly Manor.
Okay.
I loved it. I assume it's higher for you.
It's my number 4.
Okay.
But it was a wild ride. We did episodic coverage of that.
We did, yeah. Thanks everybody for really digging episode 5.
It's the end for me.
Yeah, it's me too.
Episodes 1 through 9, it would maybe make my honorable mentions. But then the finale shot it right up.
It wraps up so beautifully.
The end justifies the means.
100%. I would watch so many shows of a similar quality if they wrapped up that way. 100%. If I could be guaranteed it wrapped up that satisfyingly, I would watch a million shows.
So my number 5 is Magicians.
That's my number 4. So we just... the finale of Magicians also is...
Top 5 series finales. And number 1 is up for grabs.
Yeah, I was so satisfied by the ending, even though we found out halfway through that they weren't going to get another season.
They had a plan for one.
They did.
And you would think, how could they possibly end this show in a satisfying way?
And they fucking did it.
I gasped.
Yeah, same.
When it ended.
Well, he had to go lay down before we could talk about it. You might need to lay down now.
My heart. I gasped.
Well, it's also, you kind of have to think about it too, because like after the season 4 finale, we were like, how is any episode of the show ever going to live up to that?
It's not a reveal.
No.
I want to, in case you haven't watched it and are prepping, like I said, lower your hopes and stuff.
Yeah.
But I gasped at the poignancy of it.
And a little bit at the audacity of it. I think at this point we can go on record and say that we are Sarah Gamble stans and John McNamara, because they created and
just together. The 4 that they chose, or 5 was it? I don't remember, but the
4 or 5, I don't remember either.
I was like,
that's the correct
answer.
Yes. You did the right thing. You did the right thing. And so it was like, that was a very happy and satisfying ending to a show that meant so much to both of us for 5 years. We were obviously both very pleased because we had them respectively in our lists where they were.
So my 4 was Bly Manor. My 3 was Dead to Me. Your number 2?
My number 3 was Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
Because the final season of Schitt's Creek happened.
I still haven't finished it, so
year. That's fine. I'm sure you've seen a lot of stuff anyway. I'm not gonna spoil it. I think Dan Levy has a good head on his shoulders. And it was just, again, this one can't really go in the top 10 finale or the top 5 finale thing that we've been doing, but it was so nice and just lovely. And I loved every minute of watching every episode of Schitt's Creek. I think I've watched the whole series 3 times now, and I'm just so into it. It's so nice to be able to just dip into a world where like hatred is non-existent. Mm-hmm. No, it's just not there. And it's so fun and pleasant, and I just love it. So that was my number 3. My number 2 was The Good Place, and your number 2 was Dead to Me?
No.
Oh, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is The Great.
That's my number 1.
I was really waiting for us to have one.
No, and that's my number 1.
The Boys, this season blew me away.
It did for me too. Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat. Not unlike the Umbrella Academy, they took everything about season 1 and added to it in a way that
with these high concept shows, it really is like I need to be in season 2 already.
It was giving me early season Game of Thrones, where it was shocking me by the single most obvious outcome. Like the single it's like there's no other way this could have gone, and yet I'm blindsided. And the cast, that is an embarrassment of riches. I don't think I've had a day of my life since season 1 happened where I haven't just thought about Anthony Starr's performance as Homelander. Mm-hmm. It is incredible. Mm-hmm. Like top tier. I mean, but I think they're all phenomenal. Like, because I've said I actually think Erin Moriarty is wonderful.
Yeah, and she's doing great.
And we also
love Jack Quaid.
Giancarlo Esposito, real 2020 MVP. You know, I mean, it just, there were the characters, the women. In the show were so interesting, and so it knocked my socks off. And then The Great, which, I mean, for me that's a toss up too.
It is.
It could be, but The Great was so funny, but not in a showy way.
No,
it was it was like The Favorite, but
it was a little like The Favorite.
It was one of the writers.
Yeah.
So, but like in a fluffier way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The chemistry between Elle Fanning and
Nicholas Hoult was so funny.
It's ridiculous.
It just, I mean, he punches her in the stomach in the second episode, and I laughed out loud. That is an accomplishment.
It is. It really
is a feat.
Well, I mean, it is played for comedy.
It is.
To a point. Yeah.
Because she's upset that he's hurt her emotionally. And he's like, well, that's ridiculous. And then he like punches her and is like, there, now I've hurt you. Now you can cry. And it's like, and I don't remember the actress's name, but his aunt.
His aunt. I thought you were talking about his mistress, because his mistress was fun too.
Yeah, no.
Best friend's wife.
Yeah, no, his aunt.
She was wild.
That is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because she has kind of a Julie Haggerty vibe. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where you write her off because you think she's not all there, because she's trying to train butterflies, which is not a thing that can be done.
To follow her around.
And to spell out things in the air. But yet, if you need someone in your corner.
You know what she is she's like Luna Lovegood.
Yes.
She's like a very Luna Lovegood type of character.
And then again, it's been so long, I can't remember their names, but the Catherine's maid.
Yes. Also very, very funny.
Phenomenal. It was on Hulu. It is.
It was another one of those things, like, sort of for me, like with Emma and Bridgerton, because it's a period piece again, but it's just like top to bottom. It's like excellent casting. It's excellent acting. It's excellent writing. It's excellent directing. It's excellent set design. It's costumes.
Wicked.
Everything.
Oh, God. I want to go watch it right now. It also got a second season. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah.
But I had an RIP, but it literally is just I'm the least mad at Sabrina because we did get 4 seasons, but I will never, ever, ever forgive Netflix for canceling Glow and The Society. I can carry a feud.
And Santa Clarita Diet, which that was last year, but regardless.
I will never. It's unforgivable. Yeah. I'm angrier about The Society because the mystery, and also we only had the 1 season. Yeah. And Glow, we did get 3 seasons with these people. But then on the Glow side, they were filming. They were filming the 2nd episode when they canceled it. Yeah. And I just do not believe, because Netflix, they're printing money. I like, there's no, you cannot convince me. Yeah. Even The Society, I sort of get, although that last minute bullshit, how you can do that to your cast.
No, I hate it. And that's the thing for me is it's like, because Glow got awards stuff. It got like awards recognition. And I'm like, you could have got there. If you should have done the 4th season, you should have let them finish it. You should have let it go there. That's my...
I just... Yeah, I don't know. I've thrown around the idea of like, because they have the Society was written and like they were packing to go. Yeah, they had already done promotional material about how we're coming back for season 2.
Oh, I remember.
And I was like, I don't know if I want table reads. I don't know if I want a novelization. I don't know if like a cheaply animated, like, but I want to know
something.
They just got back from finding the turkeys. Yeah. And
I need to know. And there was a coup while they were gone.
Fucking Grace. And what's this? Like, I need to know. Oh, so.
Also, what were their names? Cutie little gay boys.
Sam and Grizz.
Yeah. They like barely kissed each other. And I'm just like, Rrr.
Oh my God. That's actually, I mean, that is right on par with every other year end that we've done.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So that was 2020.
Yeah.
You know, there's some good things in there.
There are some excellent things in there. Some really good things. I think we didn't tell where a lot of things are available. Emma and the Invisible Man are on HBO. Palm Springs is on Hulu. Wolfwalker's on Apple. Birds of Prey is on HBO, so is Unpregnant. Love and Monsters, I think you can rent it. Eurovision is Netflix. Wonder Woman and Soul are both on HBO and Disney, respectively. My Octopus Teacher is on Netflix. The Great was on Hulu. I think you can watch, I guess it's probably all the NBC stuff's on Peacock now. Yeah, I mean, Schitt's Creek is on Netflix. I don't know where The Magicians is. Is that on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, we did say everything else, but go watch some stuff. There's a lot of good stuff out there. All right, well, you know, happy end of the year. Hopefully the first handful of days of 2021 have been
I don't know if it's better to lean in to the doom and gloom or to lean, because for a couple years now I've been like, this year's going to be the year, and it's taken that as a challenge.
Yeah, this year's probably not going to be the year. Let's be honest.
I hope to end 2021 better than we started it.
Yeah, I think that's a safe.
Because we've been in a gradual sort of, and I want for 2021 to be
an up swoop.
Yeah. So if I'm sitting in a movie theater by Christmas of 2021,
if I'm seeing Dune in the theater in 2021, I will consider that a
I
win.
think the HBO Max deal, I think that is not going to happen.
I think by the time,
because it literally said all dates tentative or subject to change.
That's the thing.
And I'm like, they're going to pull that. They're
by
not going to.
By the time that the majority of people have been given access to the vaccine, they will be like, hey, JK, the rest of the year is going into theaters.
No,
100%.
I summer is still too soon, but I by Christmas, by your birthday, I want to be sitting in a movie theater.
Yeah, if I don't see Dune for my birthday this year, we're going to have a problem. Well, as always, you can follow us on Twitter at So I'm Watching or Instagram at So I'm Watching This Show. We also have a website, soimwatching.com, which links out to everything. And other than that, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the button right down here. And then just rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. And that's it for us. Happy New Year. Bye.